We want to write the following fractions as decimals. First, if I were to write 4 over 9 as a decimal, that'll be 0.4 repeating. But because there's a 0 here, I'm going to have to shift this decimal over by 1. So this will be 0.04 repeating. Okay, now 5 over 99, if it was like 55 over 99, that would be 55 repeating. But the way to do this is to put an extra 0. So now the top and the bottom have the same number of numbers. So it's like 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. And so what repeats now is the 0.5 at the top. The next number here, we have 4 numbers at the top and then 4 nines at the bottom. So that's going to be 0.684 repeating. The next one's a little tricky. I have 0.5 over 9, so 0.5 is 5 over 10, and that's divided by 9, which I can rewrite this as 5 over 10 times 1 over 9, which is 5 over 90. Because there's an extra 0 at the bottom, that means I'm going to have to shift by 1 0. And then now I'm going to cover this 0 and say 5 over 9 is just 5 repeating. So the repeating is only on the 5, not the 0. Now for number 5, there's only 2 digits at the top and then 3 at the bottom. So I'm going to even it out by putting a 0 there. And so whatever's at the top now is going to be repeating. So it's 0.011 repeating. For number 6, because there's 2 digits at the top and the bottom, we're going to have the 2 digits at the top repeating. For 7, we have 4 digits at the top, 4 digits at the bottom. Because of the same number, we're just going to have whatever's at the top repeating. Same thing with number 8, 2 digits at the top, 2 digits at the bottom. Because they're equal, that's what repeats. Number 9, there's 4 digits at the top, 4 digits at the bottom. They're the same number, so we're just going to put whatever's at the top repeating. Now we want to write the following decimals as simplified fractions. So for number 1, there's only 1 digit that's being repeated, which is 5. And so we need to include only 1 9. The next one, we have 2 digits repeating, so we need 2 9s. And then the digit that's repeating is 79. For 3, we have 14 repeating, but the mistake here is to say 14 over 99. Well, that would work if there was no 0 there. But because there's a 0, you want to divide by 10, or in other words, include a 0 at the denominator. But here we want to write it as simplified fractions, so we have to divide top and the bottom by 2, and we end up with 7 over 495. Okay, the next one, we have the 6 repeating. So I can treat this problem as 0.6 repeating first, which is 6 over 9, or 2/3. Now, I need to make space for the 1. So what if we do 0.06 repeating? That means I'm going to have to put a 0, an extra 0 at the bottom. And so that's 1 over 15. Now I want to include a 1 in the 10th place. So I'm going to add 1/10. So it'll be 1/10 plus 1 over 15. Common denominator is 30. So that's 3 and 2. That gives me 5 over 30, which is 1 over 6. For 5, we have 0.9 and then 7 repeating. So 7 repeating is just 7 over 9. But we want to make space for the 9, so we're going to move the 7s over by 1, and that's going to require us to divide by 10. And then we want to add 9/10 to this, because we want to add this 0.9. So this is the same thing as 7 over 90 plus 81 over 90. And so this is 88 over 90, which is 44 out of 45. The next one is only one repeating. So this one is easy. That's 1 over 9. Okay, the next one is 0.00 and then 9 repeating. So 9 repeating is just 9 over 9. But then we have to shift it over 2 units. So we have to divide by 100. And so this is just 1 over 100. Okay, for 8, we have 3, 4 repeating, but we also have 0.12 in front of it. So first, let's just do the 3, 4 repeating. That's 34 over 99. Then we want to shift it over 2 units. So we're going to add 2 zeros on the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to simplify this. Divide the top and the bottom by 2. So 34 divided by 2 is 17. And then 9900 divided by 2 is 4950. The next step, I have to add this 0.12. So that's 12 hundredths. Or, dividing by 4, it's 3 out of 50. So this math is a bit tricky. We have 3 out of 50, adding it to 17 over 4950. So I need to multiply this by 99 over 99 to get the same common denominator. So now we have to do 99 times 3, which is 297. Adding this together, we have 4,950 at the top, at the bottom rather, and then 297 plus 17 is 314. Now I can divide by 2. That's 157. And then 4950 divided by 2 is 2,475. So this is the answer to number 8. Now for 9, all we see is 79 repeating. So that's going to be 79 over 99. So that's our final answer.